K7019. Try it. Not gonna be one of those situations.
Lockers, thank you!
Okay.
Hey, y'all know what's crazy? These people actually feel like don't give a fuck about it. They actually feel like they care about it. They don't let us right there. Oh, these niggas high. What are you thinking about that,
Just an idiot, got it. How's it going? Going.
Let's focus, everyone. Let's not be distracted. Let's focus, right?
So what we're doing, I was putting us against traffic because we're smaller group of traffic, so we're gonna have to.
So today, right here in this mic check? Mic check? Okay, great. So today there's a March to the Polls event happening right here where we are. So we're here to show solidarity with them, right? Great. Yeah, that's right. March to the Polls, because we don't win. So Kristen is going to talk to you guys for a bit. And just to be clear, Kristen isn't on the ballot for this year, which you probably already know. So this is not a conflict of interest. So if anyone says it's a conflict of interest, because we can't even vote for her either. Okay, great. Kristen Richardson, join us!
Thank you, Kim. So, I just wanted to say a little bit about voting, and I understand that as leftists and as radicals, we may have a strange relationship to this. So I just want to acknowledge that. I also want to say that I myself, as a high school student, promised my great aunt that I would always vote, and that is because she was a black woman who gave up great sacrifices in order to vote, and she made me promise as a teenager to do it. That being said, I have legit walked into a ballot box and voted for Audrey Lorde. Yeah! I have walked into a ballot box and voted for Fannie Lou Hamer. Woo! I have walked in and voted for Asada Shakur a couple times. So I keep my promises and I kept my promise, but sometimes there just are not choices. So I write in radical black women when that happened. But what I want to talk about, though, is the power of voting. And I do want to say that in this election, we do have to vote out this orange monster. We have to vote it out.
Yes.
So I think this particular election calls for that action just because of where we are, just the realities of where we are. I had this conversation with someone about 2 days ago about voting, and they were a very ardent leftist. They never vote. Like I said before, I understand and respect where that comes from, but their larger argument was that their vote didn't matter and that it wasn't relevant. And I really, really want to push back on that, because the truth of the matter is, if it really didn't matter, they wouldn't be trying to take it away from us. There wouldn't be all the efforts to suppress the vote, especially the black vote. There wouldn't be all these efforts to silence those of us who do want to go vote. There wouldn't be tremendously long lines. There wouldn't be mailboxes, literally mailboxes. I saw it in Harlem being towed away so that people could not vote by mail. If it didn't matter, they wouldn't try so hard to stop it.
Right.
So real talk, it does matter. So it does matter, and please do go out and do it. And you know, the system is stacked against us. I hope we're all aware of that. It is set up. We are in a setup, because we have not just Democrats and Republicans and the stacks against us in terms of Republicans having power and the new appointee to the Supreme Court, right? But we also have things stacked against us in that Democrats and Republicans are most often two sides of the exact same coin, promoting capitalism and white supremacy. So we got a lot of work to do, no doubt. Lots of work to do. But it is all possible. Change is possible. Radical change is possible. Part of why I decided to run for local office was that belief that radical change is possible. We have to start thinking creatively about how we get from where we are now to the kind of world we want to see. And this movement has been an inspiration to me in so many ways. I just think it's so powerful that people are out talking actively about defunding. I mean, dial this back. Dial this back, guys. Like, you go last year and talk about defunding the police. I know, I did it. I have been an abolitionist. I have been saying the same thing. And you would not get any response. You would not get to have a conversation. You would not get to open the doorway to all the possibilities of public safety, true safety, without cops. And now we are here in that world. We're not as far along as we may want to be or need to be, but we are in a world where you can say abolition and keep the conversation going. Wow. And that's because of this movement. That's because of us in the streets in this movement. So with that, let's continue the conversation, continue the vote. So much more than just voting, though, like I was saying. It's a larger movement. And I don't know who's going to speak to it, but I hope we return to if you could hold up the agenda, I hope we return to the black woman's agenda. Because at the end of the day, that's what we need. And just a note on voting, like I said, vote him out. I already said it. Vote him out. I said it. Okay? But that being said, there is something we said for substantive representation. Sorry, I have to go there. We don't just need black women in office. We need black women who are about a black women's agenda. We need policies that center black women. We need black liberation. Black liberation? Black legislation. Right. Black legislation. So do take a look at the agenda, and I guess throughout the march we'll have some time to talk about it more. but that is the heart of it, is that real substantive change. Thank you.
Okay, so I just want to piggyback on something really important that Kristen said. I remember the first time I heard the term defund the police, and I was, well, slow down. And the very first time I ever heard that was in the very beginning, the first week two of this movie, and it was an Auto Freedom rally in Washington Square Park. And I remember Kamika Mallory using the term defund the police, and I went, well, what? Ma'am, we wanted to die. And she went on to explain what it meant. And now I am of the view, we've come a mighty long way. I am now of the view that defund the police is kind of reform. It's not a full-on abolitionist. Stay here, guys. They got it under control, so we can stay here.
Stay with us.
We have a few people over there working it out.
You know, just for you to understand, the stop is the march to the polls stop. We're going to learn more about voting and about what we need to do and about the fact that today is the first day of early voting. So please stay with us in our partners plus one vote.
Yes. And so I want to say something really important, because we don't just talk about abolition when we're in spaces like these. I hope all of you know, I feel like it's my personal duty to help you guys to understand what being an abolitionist means, so that when you go back home and when you're sitting with your girlfriends and your guy friends and your non-binary friends, you can disseminate this information on what it means to be an abolitionist. And so, we know what it means to defund the police. Defunding the police means that we want to divest from the NYPD budget, or from policing budget all across America, and put those funds back into programs that are needed to prevent crime in the first place. So that Americans can finally be the first world country that it claims to be but isn't really. Right? So we want to make sure we know that children who have crime, who have violence visited upon them, oftentimes grow up to be violent. Now imagine a country that intervenes in kindergarten. Imagine a country that intervenes in elementary school, and that child gets the therapy and mental health care and services that they need. A child that is going to a school that is not patrolled by armed police officers. A school where when a 6-year-old throws a tantrum, a police officer doesn't come and drag her out in handcuffs too big to fit her wrist. That is why we want to defund the police. And that is what we want, because we know that when you take care of your children will grow up and take care of you. If America takes care of her children, and I mean all of her children equally, then those children will grow up and take care of America. But then I would go one step further, and I would say not only do we want to defund, because defunding is only the first step in abolition. And I know that the idea of abolishing the system of policing that we know now is absolutely radical. It is mind-blowing. What will we do? We think America is going to turn into mayhem and chaos, but I would say to you, America is mayhem and chaos right now. And so, when you go back home and you talk to your friends and your cousins and your aunts and your moms, and you try to convince them to jump on the abolitionist train, the example that you could use to them child could sit side by side in a classroom and learn the exact same lesson was radical. It was unthinkable, and yet here we are today. It was a radical thought that women could vote. It was a radical thought that black people could vote in this country and control their own destiny. All of these things were radical at one point, and what did we do? We shattered glass ceiling after glass ceiling after glass ceiling, and now we have a few more to shatter, right? And we are going to shatter them together. Now, like I said, I want you to look not only to us as leaders, which is why I shy away from the term leader, because I really truly believe that we are all leaders. I believe that every single one of us has a responsibility to change this country. And if I stood here talking to myself, I would not be able to make a difference. The only reason I'm able to make any difference is because we're doing it together, because I asked you to show up, we asked you to show up, and you did. So now this is a partnership. And now the responsibility is on you to communicate, to talk to people about why and how we need to change this country for the better. And so now I'm going to turn over to Ali, and she's going to talk to you guys a little bit more.
Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. My name is Ali. It means champion. But my full name is Maher Ali, and I'm a descendant of Queen Adewale. I am a descendant of the revolutionary Hawa Tako. I'm a Somali refugee who lives here in NYC. First and foremost, I just want to say, fuck Christopher Columbus. We got to take that statue down. Fuck Christopher Columbus. Okay. Another thing is I wanted to go back to what Tanisha said, where she was considered to be too loud, but you know, our mothers didn't scream us into this world to be quiet. That's right. That's not why. Second thing, I want to talk about black women in politics. Black women in politics, you guys all saw the polls. Who carried Hillary Clinton? Who came out for Hillary Clinton? Who supports Democrats? Okay, then why are we not seeing more black women in leadership? Why are we not getting the same support? We're either too radical, we're not smart enough, it's whatever. They make us jump through hoops for what? We're here standing, fighting on the front lines every single day. Every day. Yes. Why are we being erased? Why? There are people like Kristen Jordan right here, running for office. I'm gonna be straight. People are trying to erase Kristen Jordan. She's going to be the first black queer woman as city council. In Harlem. Secondly, let's not pay attention to the Trump people. Let's refocus here. We have a goal to get to the polls. I've worked in politics for about 6 years. I've always had to carry the burden of a mask. You guys follow me on Instagram, you guys will know what I'm talking about. But here, that's F as in Frank, A-R-H-I-Y-A. I worked for a politician who didn't pay me for an entire year when he said he's gonna pay me. I spent an entire year working for free when I was told I was gonna get paid. And then, when I called him out on it, he intimidated me, sent people to my house. And this person is running against honest thinking, so it's like, yo, what the fuck? Like, we don't have...
You're not talking about that link.
We need to also talk about the healthcare system. Black women are dying. Black women are dying from things they shouldn't die from. I myself have witnessed and went through that process. I had a bit of a health condition. I was in the hospital. The nurse, a white nurse, told me it's just period cramps. Don't worry. If I waited 2 more hours, I would have died. 2 more hours. When we say we cannot tolerate pain, that doesn't mean let's see how far our pain treat us, take care of us. I'm tired of black women dying every day. Anyways, my name is Maher Ali, or you can call me Ali. My name is Ali, as you guys know, Muhammad Ali stands for he's the champion, so Ali is a champion. Again, I am a descendant of Queen Aruela, of Hawa Taco, and I'm here to stay, and I'm here to bring radical change, and I'm going to support people like Kristen Jordan, who's here to bring radical love into Harlem. And to make it
And now, we're going to get to the actual reason we stopped here, and I'm going to introduce you all to +1 vote, who's going to run a march to the poll vote. They're going to talk about it. So, without further ado, march to the polls. Mic check. Mic check. Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
My name is Maher.
Hi, Saad.
Hello. I am the founder of +1 Votes, an organization that is dedicated to getting out the votes and improving the representation of black people, indigenous people, people of color in our democracy. We got to make sure we get to the polls and that we push young people out to the polls. So much is at stake in this election. Everybody with signs, hold your signs up high. I want to see your signs. And if you don't have a sign, I want to hear you clap 3 times for me. Can you clap 3 times for me? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to read some of these signs to let us know why we're out here, okay? Black Lives Matter.
Black lives matter.
Power to the people.
Power to the people.
Vote for the earth.
Vote for the earth.
Black votes matter.
Black votes matter.
Justice for Breonna.
Justice for Breonna.
Exactly. It is so important that we keep pushing. All of these issues are at stake in our election. This election is a referendum on democracy. We have seen over the past few years black lives being taken and no justice. Are we going to stand up for that? Are we going to fight back? We have seen wildfires and storms ravage this country. Are we going to fight for our planet? We have seen them remove civil liberties from groups like our own, taking young people out of school as a result of this pandemic. Are we going to stand up for that? And the way we do that, the way we take action on all of these movements that we have seen over the last several years, whether you are marching for Black lives, or for the climate crisis, or for science, or for women, or for the LGBTQ, whatever it is that you are marching for, the reality is that we will only take action at the polls. Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Today is the first day of early voting in New York State. It is also National Early Vote Day. Right now in most states, you can go out and vote. There have already been 50 million votes casted. There is 250,000 young people that have already come out to vote in Florida. We need to keep pushing numbers like that. And I want to be clear with you all. Your votes matter. I want to hear you say that. My vote matters.
My vote matters.
My vote
decide who is the leader of this country. Your vote will also decide who is going to be in Congress, who's going to be in the Senate, who's going to be on the city council, who are the sheriffs, who are our local politicians that don't get enough attention, that are also out here deciding what justice looks like for all of us. Are we going to show up and vote? Yes! Are we going to show up and vote? Yes! Yes, we are. So today, we are here joining the Black Women's March, an incredible group of organizers defending Black women. We must all support Black women, one of the groups that has been the most marginalized in this country's history. We have to vote for Black women and for Black women's lives because there has been so much injustice that we have seen even over the last few months. Today we are going to march to the polls. We are going to hit these streets. We are going to march, we're going to walk past Lincoln Center. If Lincoln Center is your designated early voting site, we'd love to bring you with us straight to the polls. Y'all want to come with us to the polls? Yes! If you don't know where your designated early vote site is, your early voting site will vary and is often different than your typical polling location that you may be used to. So, if you want to look it up right now, you can look it up at whatsmypolingsite.vote.nyc. Right there you can find your polling location, get that information. You can vote today. Voting has already started in New York State. There are lines all across this state, all across the city of people who want to get in there and vote. Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
I want to make sure that you guys know that there are resources out there for you. I am the founder of +1 Vote. You can follow us on Instagram at +1 vote. There we post plenty of content about voting, about how you can raise your voice, and about how it's so important that you go and vote. You can check out your polling place at vote.org. You can also go to +1campaign.org/resources and find your polling place right there. It's +PLUS1 vote. There's so much at stake in this election, and I want to make sure we all get out to the polls. Are you guys ready to vote?
Yes!
Are you guys ready to vote?
Yes!
We're going to get a record number of voters out there. And part of the reason for that is because we have young people, people who are just getting to the age of voting, voting for the first time. So I want to introduce to you the executive director of 1 Million of Us, which has been mobilizing youth across the country to vote. Here we have Jerome Foster.
My name is Jerome Foster II. I'm the founder and executive director of 1 Million of Us, which is a national organization educating and empowering the movement of young people to register and turn out to vote, advocating for gun violence reform, advocating for gender and racial equity, advocating for climate justice, and advocating for everyday people to be dignified and respected on the political stage. And I'm here. I'm a former intern for Congressman John Lewis. I'm a climate justice activist. And now we are here. Young people make up 37% of the electorate this election season. And for so long, young people have been ignored. We have been excluded, and we have been erased from the political conversation. But today is the first day that we will be heard. We will be at the polls. We will be here united as one people and one everything because we are an intersectional movement. We cannot separate Black women's vote from Black Lives Matter. We cannot separate bisexual people versus trans people. We cannot separate different movements from one another because we're all fighting for the same justice. That's why we're here today. I want all of you guys to know that every single person in this crowd has power. Because you're here today, every single person. If all of us called our member of Congress today, we would impact their actions for the next week. We could change what policies they enact. We could change what decisions they make just by us as a collective. Like she said, there's no leaders. We're just people. We're community organizers. Because as a community, that is how we are most powerful. When we are united and we have a united front. And we as young people are for the first time in American history have the highest voter turnout. For the first time in American history, we are being heard. Thank you. So if you feel like your voice does not count, you feel like your vote does does not count. Understand that in 2016, the election was decided by an average of 2 votes per precinct. That means that you could have brought 2 people from this march, and we would have won the election. So does our vote not matter?
Vote matters.
Our vote matters, right? So I want to hear you say a chant. Take it to the streets, take it to the polls. When I say take it to the streets, you say take it to the polls. Take it to the streets.
Take it to the polls.
Take it to the streets.
Take it to the polls.
Take it to the streets.
Take it to the polls.
That's right. Because we are here marching every single day. We're here organizing. We're here out here sacrificing our time and our energy and our money, donating to movements. But we need to take it to the polls. We need to make sure elected officials cannot just ignore us and just say, oh, they're yelling out in the streets again, and ignore them again. No, we're going to have a political revolution at the ballot box because young people will no longer be ignored. We are out here today to say enough is enough. For generations, we have continued to be marginalized in the conversation. For generations, people have continued to die for causes while politicians sit in their high houses while they say, oh, we're not going to even listen to you guys. But we are here to say, all around the world, we are marching. We are marching because now is the time for a new generation to come of age and to come of power because we are powerful. Understand that. Woo! I want you guys to understand the true intersectionality of these movements. When we talk about Black Lives Matter, and we talk about climate justice, did you know that 71% of coal-fired power plants are placed in Black and brown communities? You didn't know that. Did we know that the same, at more rates, Black women of color and Black trans women are being killed by police? We don't know that because people don't talk about it enough. We need to continue to push the conversation. We need to continue to stress intersectionality because when one group gets marginalized, we all get marginalized. So that's why we're here because we're seeing every single race, we're seeing every single color, we're seeing every single person united right here in New York City, the best city in the world. And we are here saying that this is the first time you can go to your polling location and your voice will not be ignored. Because we know that we can hold a tsunami at the ballot box. And we know that we can have a tsunami of enough people to make sure that our voice can never be ignored again. We need to make sure that we're expanding the electorate. We need to make sure that we're getting young people, that we're getting disabled people, we're getting Black women of color, that we're getting black men as well, that we're getting every single priest and reed to go out to the polls. So I want you guys to be excited. I want you guys to yell as loud as you can so every single elected official across this country will hear our power. So, I want you to say, our vote matters as loud as you can.
Our vote matters!
That's not loud. Come on. Our vote matters!
Our vote matters.
Our vote matters!
Our vote matters.
Our voice matters!
Our voice matters.
Our voice matters!
Our voice matters.
Black voice matters!
Black voices matter.
Black votes matter!
Black votes matter.
Black votes matter!
Black votes matter.
Yeah! I want to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to come out here and to be united and to take your time to listen to us as we're revolutionizing America's democracy. You are changing America's democracy right now by being here, being a part of this movement. So I want to thank you guys for that. Thank you. I'm introducing next Taylor. Next speaker.
Okay, Taylor. Let's go, Taylor.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Good morning, everyone. No, it's afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Haley. I am from Harlem.
Take it and
and I
pass it
am
along.
a 16-year-old activist. not mean we care about voting. We do care. And we do have concerns. We do have things that we want to talk about. That doesn't mean just because we can't vote that we don't have those things. To ask, again, make sure that you recognize the youth of color who have different things that they want to talk about, and make sure that when you're going to the polls, you're representing them. And that is all I have to say today. Thank you.
How y'all feeling? Are you ready to vote? Yeah! Are you ready to vote? Yeah! Yeah, you're ready to vote. I'm ready to vote too. I'm a New Yorker just like all y'all, and I am so excited to cast my ballot today. So if you want to find your polling site, go to Find My Poll Site. If you want to find your polling site, go to Find My Poll Site. .vote.nyc. Type in your address and you can find your early voting site.
This is to find your early voting site. So
make sure you find your early voting site. Go to Find My Poll Site.
Find my poll site.
.vote.nyc.
And that's to find your early voting site, which is different from your regular polling location.
Yes. So we're going to march out in just a second. Can we do one more chant? Oopsie. Can we do one more chant? Okay, this is a chant I made up for the climate justice movement. Would you want to do climate justice chant with me? Yeah! Okay. I'm going to say, kill our planet, and you say, no, they won't. I'm going to say, we are gonna, go. Kill our planet. We are gonna, kill our planet. We are gonna, take our lives. We are gonna, that's right, we're gonna vote, guys. Come on, let's go.
So there you have it. Any of you just getting in there, if you scroll back about 2 minutes, you can get where you can check to find out. And I was up by the Lincoln Center polling site before going down to this march, and there were lines around the block for 2 blocks. So people are out. It's packed. People aren't sitting on their asses. there, the atrium there. It was packed. It was around the block before I came down here. It was like wrapped around one block where that is. The other block had people going around. So, and they do have pulled people outside and inside, because I was like, I wonder if there are any issues coming up. So I sat out there for a little bit. Everything seemed nice and calm. So I think it'll be that way. There'll be some places in the country.
I'm more worried about like places like the South where there's this like, you know, Trump said, "Oh, good old boys, get out there and like defend the polls." I'm worried about that happening.
That'll be a lot of the, especially smaller towns, conventions.
That's what I'm saying. Like in the rural or smaller towns. I mean, can you imagine how intimidating that is?
I know. Okay, guys, I wanted to give you a heads up. Yeah, currently, basically, just to get heads up, Women's March regarding Get Out the Vote. And as I mentioned to someone, Lincoln Center, since earlier today, it's been lines around the block. So it's going to be a powerful election with a lot of people getting out to vote, which is going to be great. Currently, they're heading up Central Park West, passing 63rd. Join them. Anyone up on the Upper West Side, definitely come on out. Central Park West, they're marching up. See you guys in the streets. See you on the front lines. Everything seems like it's going to be okay. I know National Lawyers Guild is going along with the march, so everything should be fine. See you guys on the front lines. Get out there and vote.